So this is the installation for StarGard adapter. So what we have right now, and all you really need to start off with, is the StarGard adapter and your StarLink Mobility for the Gen 2 size mobility adapter. And then with StarLink you get this box, and it's got bolts with stop nuts, 4 bolts with stop nuts and 4 washers. You're going to use these. It also comes with 4 screws. You will not be using those. So it's the way StarLink wants you to do this is that you will take the nuts off and install it through the bottom of the adapter. Going up, it's fun to do it with one hand. Stick it through the hole. Now, on your StarLink adapter, on the StarGard adapter, you want this to be the front of, you see how the hole's at the front? You want that to be the front and point to the angle on this of your StarLink Mobility. So we'll turn it around this way. This goes through that hole. There we go. So you see how that goes? Very important you put it on that direction. That little bridge across the back in the short bolt goes toward the back of your StarLink. That's the way you want to do that. You're going to put those 4 bolts on, put the screws in, tighten them down, and then go mount it to your rig. So now we have the StarLink Mobility adapter firmly connected with the 4 provided bolts and nuts from StarLink to the StarGard adapter. Again, note the configuration where the back of the StarLink with these connectors on it, the back of this faces where this back piece is, this bar where that bar is. That's important so the orientation of your StarLink is right. But now that we've done that, we could do that all from the coolness of your air conditioning. Now we're going to take these 2 bolts and our wire ties, and we're going to go up and put it on the RV. You will need 2 7/16 inch wrenches to put this thing on there, and a screwdriver to remove the C-clip that's currently holding your probably non-broken TV antenna that you're going to replace. So basically I've already had this off mine, so basically you're going to pull the C-clips that go through here and this piece here. You're going to pull those C-clips off, push those 2 bolts off, and this just slips right off. Then this piece slips right on where that one was. We use bolts instead of the rods and C-clips, as I feel these bolts they're stainless, they're not going to rust, and mine were rusted and falling apart. So let's go do that. Okay, since my coach was the guinea pig for all of this, I've already kind of a little bit of a head on the install, but in this case you can see where we've removed the previous setup for the antenna, and we're going to install the adapter on there. Now, one of the other things you'll notice, don't do this yet. I've already got the Y ties on mine, zip ties. Don't do that yet, not until you figure out where you're actually going to put your thing, run your wire. Now, my antenna wire actually had a different roof penetration, so I just pulled that up and cut it out and then snug it down and resealed it. I've seen some of them in here with the way the antenna wire goes in there. I don't know, I don't think you can use that because that's a they're a powered thing, so you're gonna have to figure out however your roof penetration is. That I don't cover, so y'all have to, that every coach is going to be different. So now the time is, we're going to take this bad boy here, our StarGard, and we are simply going to turn it around. We want the narrow part facing toward the rotation point. So we're just going to set it on top, push it down, line up the holes, and put the bolts in. So once we do that, it's hard to do that with one hand. Oh, look at that. Maybe I can do it with one hand. So there's the bottom hole. So we're going to use the longest of the two bolts, and we're going to push it through one side, through the hole, out through the other side. Sorry, I had to use one hand. It is tight, and it meant to be tight, so we don't get a lot of wiggle. We don't want a lot of wiggle in this thing. If you get wiggle in yours, it may be due to the bolt, to the holes in here being wallered out over the years. And if you notice, I've got some cuts here. I actually cut mine down about 6 inches and didn't re-drill the holes in the same spots, and it actually makes it a little bit better in that it's shorter, so it's easier for it to go up and down. Now once we do that, we can come in, look through the holes here, and line up the other. There we go. We're going to line up that hole. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Line up that hole, take our bolt from the other side, run it through the holes. Yay. And just that easy, even with one hand, we're going to install it and get it going. There it is, and push through. It fits tight, like I said. Anyway, I'm going to push that, get it tight, bolt it down, and we're going to get these snug. They don't have to be tight, but they just want to be snug so they don't back off. And this screw and that screw, it'll come through here. We'll put our nut in here. You'll see when we're done. Just snug them up so that it can still move and rotate as it needs to. And then once we do that, then we'll go back and put the wires and everything. We'll show how that goes. All right, because we're almost there now. All right, so we have our bolts in, tightened down. They are tight enough to where you won't move by finger, but they're still loose enough that allow the lift to work and rotate inside of it. The next thing you want to do is you want to pull your StarLink cable through. Now, I wired mine. You should go through this side over here. You can go through either side, wherever side you decide to put your wire on. It doesn't matter. You're going to run through these sides so you can then come up with that end, and the clip part is down in the StarLink antenna and the connectors are pointing up. So take that, turn and route it up through that little spot right there, because that's where your StarLink adapter, that's the mobility adapter, holds it inside your StarLink. So now that we've done this, we'll follow the StarLink adapter, mobility adapter instructions. We'll make sure these are loosened up so that this can move. We got this ready to go. We'll simply plug that into the bottom of the StarLink, slide the StarLink up onto this, onto the mobility adapter. With it plugged in, it'll snap into place. We tighten these up and we're done. And that quick, we got her done. Okay, we've got our wire plugged in up in there through that little gap. Now, we put a little piece of rubber, it's actually a pinball flipper rubber, on that point because it occasionally touches. That may be included in the kit. We hadn't quite decided yet. Anyway, so now once we got that in place, we got it sitting on top, all we have to do is just continue pulling it back and it pops into place. Once it pops into place, tighten up the screws per the instructions on the mobility adapter, and folks, you're it. That's it. You're done. That quick, you have solved the problem of getting your adapter mounted to your RV. Now all you got to do is figure out where you want to go to the wires. Just make sure when you go to do that, that you have enough wire that when it's in any position, there's enough wire above the roof to make those moves so you can rotate it all the way around like you want it. And there she is in the raised and rotated position, and like we're ready to point north there. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to turn and put it down and put it into the drive position. In the driving position, you can see it folds down, locks down, it's flat just like it is. I've road tested this thing 75 miles an hour and we're getting good internet throughput cruising down the road. She had no problem whatsoever. So anyway, there it is, the installation. Sweet, short, sweet, simple.